Hi guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone is well today. Thanks for tuning in. Always appreciated. Shout out to the subs. Big up to anybody new. Gratitude to all. So Tyson Fury and Olexsander Usyk are going to get it on again. December 21st. Obviously, this has been announced for a while now. They just did a press conference, so it's just the first time I'm actually re-watching the fight to talk about this. But I'm going to go over that first fight and then talk about, you know, some of the adjustments or some of the things that each fighter can do, or what was happening, at least from my perspective anyway. I did score the fight back. I had it 8-4 to Usyk. People were saying it was a close fight. I think there's a couple of rounds that were in contention, at least for me. 3 and 7. I had Usyk winning the first 3, although the third was a little bit closer, but I watched it about 2 or 3 times with the sound off. And I can understand why people might have scored the third if you're getting influenced by the commentary team and, you know, some shots that aren't quite landing. And there was I think Fury landed like a looping clean right hand. And then, you know, the commentary were giving him a bit more praise, I thought, than what was really going on.
That's good work there from Tyson Fury.
So I scored the third for Usyk, and I actually gave the 7th to Fury. So I gave him 4, 5, 6, and 7. Those were obviously his best rounds, where he came into his own a little bit, really. But the first 3 rounds, obviously, Usyk doing a tremendous job backing him up. You know, jabs to the body, left hands to the body, and then coming in and landing those clean left hands. You know, there was a lot of clean left hands being landed onto Fury's face. And you know, from the 4th round though, you know, Fury started to like kind of not just sit down on his punches, but obviously just believe in them a little bit more, you know.
I was postponed. The original meeting, there's a right uppercut from Fury.
From the body a little bit more. Body shot again there from Fury.
I think that was the biggest thing when he's backing up. You know, he's like, first of all, when you're backing up like that, and you know he's on the move anyway, his punches don't really have any impact whatsoever, and you're just, I don't know, he's far better coming forward. So it'd be interesting to see how he's going to deal with. I'll get into that a little bit later, what the approach and what the tactics are, because if you're gonna start backing Usyk up, and you know, he's gonna have to get the kind of level of shape that he's have to be in mentally and physically to be able to fight like that. Whether he's gonna want to, I don't know. So to me, honestly, the press conference, he looked old. He looked like he really couldn't be bothered to but it's just like, man, I've got to fight this guy again. That's the way I looked at it. You know, he gave him a little tap on the belly or a tap on the arm, a little smile, very quiet. You know, to me, all these body language is like, man, I really don't want to fight this dude again. I'm not saying he's scared of him. It's just fighting Usyk is hard work. You know, in the 3rd round, I think there was a moment where I just looked at Fury and he was just like getting backed up. Usyk did a tremendous job of cutting the ring off. Actually, cutting the ring off isn't necessarily just getting to the point where your fighter is, or your opponent is constantly. It's just that repeated mental pressure, whether even you're throwing punches or not. You know, it's like you know, Lomachenko fights, it's very similar, but like he's like, I've always thought, you know, that game whack-a-mole where you got to whack the thing. It's just like that. You got to put these fires out constantly, and you don't have a second to breathe. And Fury didn't, I felt like the pace for him, you could see in the 3rd round, his face was just a bit like, oh my God. 3 rounds in probably feels like, you know, you've done like 6 rounds with Usyk, because you've got to think so much. You've got to constantly, you can't really make mistakes, in the sense that not he's got one punch power that will hurt you, but if you do make a mistake, he'll land clean on you. And in fact, I'll jump a couple rounds quickly, because in the 9th round where he did get hurt, if you look at the 8th round, I'll pull it up quickly and then I'll go back to the 4th where Fury had his moments. But in the 8th round, it was the same exact punches of Usyk landed.
That was a really good round for Usyk. You just see that swelling under the eye there.
Magnitude of the occasion.
And that was like the timing and the pattern, where when you do make mistakes, that can happen. Back to the 4th. and 5th and 6th, obviously Fury sitting down on his punches a lot more, believing them and coming forward, being a bit more aggressive.
Saying exactly that in the corner.
And, you know, he's hurting Usyk and landing those uppercuts. And that's going to be a massive adjustment for Usyk to make, is how to not get hit with those uppercuts. And once, I know he's already been doing his studying and, you know, writing stuff down and analysing everything as meticulous as he is, getting in shape, you know. All these things matter, which is why I picked him to stop Fury in the first fight, because mentally, I just knew there wasn't enough time for Fury to get himself in shape. He'd been, you know, not doing what he should be doing outside the ring. In the meantime, the whole time Usyk's doing what he should be doing. You know, those things came into play, and mentally, you know, he had some lapses, Fury, especially in that 9th. That combination that he tried to throw was a major flaw, major lapse in concentration. It just really, like, you would never throw 3 or 4 3 or 4 uppercuts like that as passively as he did, you know, and that's just asking to be countered. But look, you know, I did think he looked really good in the 4th, 5th and 6th, you know, 5th and 6th for sure. Really, you know, as I said, coming forward, being more aggressive, but really believing in his punches a bit more and sitting down on them and really having some spike behind them. And the thing is, when you put so much spike behind shots like that, it drains you a bit more, because you are putting maximum power into it, or like, you know, 80%. You could see it in his face. He was really digging those shots in.
Corners, 10 seconds.
Beautiful work with that right hand, the uppercut.
And they were impactful. But, you know, it's almost like he had his second wind in those rounds, you know. And then obviously Usyk, as he does, makes the adjustments. And look, what Usyk went away from was he was, you know, he kind of following Usyk around a little bit, or still cutting the ring off a little bit, but he wasn't doing the feinting as much. He wasn't doing the level changing. He wasn't doing the jabs to the stomach as much, you know. And obviously he was getting backed up and getting hurt a little bit. Some nice body shots were coming in from Fury, but.
And Mike, it just seems like Tyson has found his form as the rounds are going on.
You know, keeping that up for Fury as well. You know, by the end of the 7th. You know, whatever way you wanted to score the 7th, as I said, I think I scored it for Fury. It's like, you know, he was working really hard in there. And in the 8th, I hadn't realised actually he got busted up quite a bit in the 8th.
Under the eye there of Tyson Fury right in the corner, and it's probably from that shot there. Yeah. He's the second half of the round fighter. He does all his best work in the second half of the fight.
You know, landing clean shots. He was bleeding from the eye. And, you know, from there, I don't think I gave Fury another round. I mean, I watched the 12th round a couple of times, 2 or 3 times, and there was some ebb and flows, definitely. You know, I can see that was a close-ish or closer rounds, because, you know, there was some clean shots landing from both guys. So, but, you know, I still had an 8-4 Usyk. If you wanted to give Fury 5 rounds, that's, you know, a stretch for me, but he would still have lost with the extra point from the 9th round, you know. And I didn't have a problem with them not stopping it, actually. I actually quite like it when they like fighters to really go for it, you know. But at the same time, I would have been fine with the stoppage as well. But I'm just like, you know what, I like to see them fight. I was always a big Steve Smoger fan. Anyone that watches the channel will probably know that. But look, at the end of the day, what can Fury do more of? And what can Usyk do more of? Fury's, I mean, if he starts backing up and letting Usyk beat Usyk early on, that's problematic. So really, it comes down to the preparation for me in the application. How mentally fit and strong is Fury going to be? I mean, there's only 9 weeks out. Like I said, he looks tired. He looks like he's already talked about the money and stuff like that. I can't really. I'm not ruling him out. He's got a lot of guts. A brave guy. He really is. You know, he's proved that time and time again. But this level of professionalism you're dealing with is going to be the difference, I think. And Usyk, as I said, he's already been doing his homework. And in the meantime, you know, Fury's been out enjoying himself and, you know, obviously making headlines for the wrong reasons. And he just looks jaded, you know. He looks jaded. But this is the kind of fight, really, I want to see Fury's energy week by week, just right in the lead up to the fight. because there's a couple of, I said, let's talk about what he can do more of, and I think there's, and his trainer was calling for this.
You tell him, you're going to end up catching him with the check hook. Just start showing him that bitch.
Sugar Hill. And his dad was calling for straight right hands to the chest, which isn't a bad shout against a southpaw. But a check hook, he landed a couple, he threw a couple of check hooks. And against the southpaw, you know, you can do it not just to land necessarily, but to just fend Usyk off, because he does have such a massive height and reach advantage. And I'll show you a check hook when Usyk's coming in with that high guard. Just check hook his high guard. Sometimes it might land, try and come around the guard, but use it to force him off. And it can look effective. Anyway, even if you're not landing super clean. I think that's a very underrated move he didn't use anywhere near as much. And it's definitely there. And also maybe if he's doing that a lot, then come straight through with the right hand. They weren't too. Fury likes to throw these slapping hooks that don't tend to usually get around the guard. And sometimes, you know, I think maybe straighten it out a little bit more. Maybe, you know, his punch technique in this next fight, I think, will be a big difference, because when he did start to really put some zip on them and believe in them, you know, they got through. And Usyk getting hit with that uppercut so much is going to be an adjustment from the get-go, I'd imagine, because there were times where he just came jabbing in like that, and like, you know, that uppercut was coming in, he was getting timed nicely from Fury several times. So I can imagine Usyk's already going to work on how to get that, whether, I don't, like, he just kind of aimlessly came in with a double jab a couple times and kind of felt a shot coming in and crack.
Yeah, I mean, incredible 2 rounds.
Second down,
right
round 7.
What a shot.
So, you know, whether he's going to come in with more feints or because that was the difference really in the 4th to 6th rounds. He wasn't really feinting as much, wasn't level changing. Fury was backing him up. Fury was believing in his punches, being more spiteful, putting more zip into them. All these things played a part, in my opinion. But it's just a video I wanted to make to talk about this fight. Really, I'm a little bit late to the party, but you know, I'll do another couple more videos in the lead up to this fight, because it's on December 21st, so we've got a little bit of time. But I'll certainly be keeping my eye out on Mr. Fury to see how his you know, his face looks, basically. You know, what's his energy like? Is he going to be able to get back to the Wilder 2 fight where he was just a beast, you know? I doubt it, really. And you never say never, but that's require a lot of hard work and training, and you know, he's running out of time. He's running out of time. But anyway, let me know your thoughts. That's it from me. Thanks for watching. Peace. I'm out.